So great. This week we're going to do home movies of a whole bunch of places and a whole bunch of years. So let me get the first one lined up here. And as in prior weeks, these are in the middle of the restoration process. So let me get out of my mail so it doesn't keep dinging. Oh, wow. Can I benefit from a reverse mortgage? No. The amazing amount of crap people keep sending out is just astonishing. Anyway, these are going through the restoration process. They've been physically cleaned and screened, and then putting through the first step of stabilizing and color rendition in that. So the very first one, we're going to start in Disneyland, and it's somewhere between the late 50s and somewhere in the 60s. Usually on these things, there's a day code, particularly in Kodachrome films. There's a day code. There's a handy little chart that will tell you if it's a circle and a line, it's from this year. Two circles, it's this year. If it's two lines, it's that year. Every now and then you get a film that was evidently non-Kodak, so it doesn't have that on there. Or in some cases, you've got all the, let me let Tom in here. You get all the perforations in the film, right? So it will say right where the date code should be will be the perforation. So if on this one you're able to pick out what the name or the year is, please give me some suggestions. I'm going to optimize our video clip, and we're going to start. Here we go. Share. Okay. So we're going to drive into Disneyland. Oh, coming down the 5 freeway, we see the sign or the mountain, and now we see the sign. So we go in off of the harbor exit, and look at all the trams waiting to take us out into the park. And when we get into the park, the very first thing, oh, okay, we have to do it. Hang on a second. Let's see, go back. Whoops, tail fins, which.
Well, it's at least 1959. There's a 59 Chevy there.
Okay.
That's the swept wings with the big cat eye tail light. I think that's an Oldsmobile. And that's right around that same era. I don't see anything more modern than that in this shot, but that doesn't mean.
No, that's what I was trying to look at too. I thought we could try to identify the year. All the cars look 50s to me. I didn't see anything that screams 60s.
Yeah.
The very first shot that looked like a Ford Falcon to me. So I don't know if that helps.
Yeah, there was a Falcon in there, one of the early years.
So there's the first shot.
No, the first shot when he was in the car, you were seeing the rear view mirror through the windshield. Yeah, right about there it is. Yeah, that's a Ford Falcon.
And what year would that be roughly?
That's gonna be, I think in the
62.
Yeah, I was gonna say early 60s. So we're up in, we moved up from 59.
Good to know.
Does it say anything on the sign there about dates?
Not that I could make out.
Okay.
No. So we're going to go in, and when we get there, we're going to visit the House of Tomorrow. We're all going to live in a plastic house, right? I got a kick out of this. It's the indoor right here. They had motorized shades that would turn to, keep the sun outside. Very modern sort of a way to do it. So they're turning there. And in a great prediction for the future, besides all our plastic furniture, we're going to get big screen TVs in our houses. So again, if this was
big screen tube TVs.
Yeah. Oh God. Imagine how long that tube would have to be for that particular size. It would go into the next room.
Yeah.
No, probably even thinking of flat screen. I can remember Popular Science magazine. It seemed every year, the 1960s, the 1970s, are always predicting flat screen TVs will be coming out at a dealer near you next year. And then, all of a sudden, bam, they finally did. But we have more plastic. We have plastic lights. We have plastic chairs, plastic furniture. And then we go outside where we have less plastic. So I like that because I haven't seen too many interior shots of the Monsanto House of the Future. And I hope you don't have claustrophobia because we're down under the ocean. Oh, we're back again. And there's our mermaids. The gals that did that said it was a great job, except all the chlorine turned their hair green. They actually gave them tests over in the Disneyland pool to see if they could swim with the mermaid legs on, or fins, tail, whatever on. There's more mermaids. And from the department of places you can't go anymore.
And things you can't see.
Yeah. Things like Casey have got to be some of the very few opening day rides that are still there. Guy's camera jumped around every now and then.
Weren't the mermaids only there for like one season?
About 3 years, I think, and I'm going to try to
3?
nail it down to figure out. Yeah.
Okay.
I have to say that even though this is obviously not Super 8, I think that your scanner improvements have helped a lot.
Yeah. The extra light source on this scanner since the upgrade has really helped pull stuff out of a lot of the darker images. We're going to get to some Super 8 coming up, and you can really see the difference between regular 8 and Super 8.
The eternal flame on the cabin.
Yeah, not so eternal anymore.
No, but at the time it sure was.
Well, I can remember walking out on the island, when that flame was going, and you got anywhere near it, it was hot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It was like about 10 feet away, you felt like you were being scorched.
Yeah. Obviously, Dad, if he took it, was entranced by the mermaids. What a job, huh? Just swim out there, sit around, pose in the sun, take out your mirror, do your hair. I don't see any drunken sailors swimming out to meet him, but that supposedly it had happened.
I think
It
those
is
women must have had strange tan lines. Their legs would probably be white.
Yeah. Yeah, Carol always gets a kick, I'm out and directing traffic all the time. So when I take off my watch, I have quite a tan line where my watch goes. I can imagine people, well, why do you have a tan from the waist up and your palace can be down below?
I can get a sunburn if I just think about going outside. So I can't imagine what type of sunscreen or
Oh, wow.
they must have had some special sun protection.
I bet.
That reminds me of the joke about the bus driver who always takes a vacation in England so his other arm gets tanned.
We're over at Knott's now. Back in the days when Knott's had a giant koi pond.
With alligators.
Those are alligators. Yeah, right. Wow.
They ate the koi.
Yeah, yeah, they used to be koi pond.
In the center of our town, the Goshen, New York, where we used to live, there was actually a couple of alligators that they kept in a pond.
Crazy. Now this part of the reel was labeled Los Angeles Ostrich Farm. And there's an ostrich. So I have to look up, and maybe that will help me with some of the years, try to figure out when the LA Ostrich Farm was open. We get pictures of our granddaughter at daycare, and they had Animal Day this week, and they brought in a baby alligator. So they said it was interesting. In another classroom, they made a mistake and they didn't take all the animals out, and they found a turtle walking around. I'm just glad they didn't leave an alligator walking around.
Here.
Then we go off to Marineland. Again, might be able to tell us something a year based on that signage on the way in. They filmed footage out there for Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea in the tank with the fish. That must have been fun for them.
Carrie and I just watched that last week,
The movie or the TV version?
the movie.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I had only seen the TV version, knew that really well, and then the movie version came on TV, and it was so strange to see a different Admiral Nelson and different Captain Crane. They should have kept Barbara Eden on for the TV version.
No, I thought you meant 10,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
Oh, 20,000
Sorry.
Leagues. Oh
20,
no.
I mean, yeah, 20, yeah, 20. Right,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, 10,000 Leagues was the prequel to the original.
Yeah. Thanks for letting me off the hook there.
Yeah, it was a whole different Captain Nemo, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Captain
Yes,
Nemo.
I can get my dogs to do that in a little boat in our pool. Yeah, one of the films I actually did do this week was a sound clip, The Monster Under the Sea, with the sound version on 8mm, but I've not yet been able to get the sound transferred to match up to it. I also did a really long reel of amateur footage from Walt Disney World of sound, and I've got to again go and do the step of get the sound off of that. You don't come up with a lot of amateur sound movies. Then we say goodbye to Marineland. Again, when I edit this, I'll take out all this super dark stuff. I forget. Now we go down to Hollywood, so we get to see the Capitol Records building, and then we go to the Walk of the Stars. Oh, now we're, I guess Walk of the Stars is another one. This is Corriganville, which is out in Simi Valley, California. And before Disneyland was built, this was the largest tourist attraction in Southern California. It was a working movie ranch that an actor named Ray Crash Corrigan bought, and realized people wanted to see movies made. So he started charging admission for people to come in and see it. and did really well until the 70s. Bob Hope ended up buying it, and it became known as Hopetown. But then a massive fire went through and destroyed it. So it's just the concrete foundations to the jail here, the stables, that sort of thing. But you can go out and see the lake where they did some of the Tarzan films, and it's dry now. But you can go down into the pit where they put the cameras, so you could watch Tarzan fighting with the alligators. It's a really fun spot if you're out in this area to go for a hike. You can there's some very recognizable hills and stuff from so many westerns that they did out there.
Looks like he's deputizing him after he shot the guy.
Yeah.
So make it a clean shooting.
Yeah, man. Yeah, wow. And then Sadie Mae, he shot him right there in the street, right there. Now,
How built up is this area now?
what's that?
How built up is this area now?
Oh, this area, it's very built up. It was a very large area, and just pause it real quick. Well, they put in all sorts of housing, but there's still a very large part of it which is done as a county park. When they built the 118 freeway, the Simi Valley Freeway through it, they actually put tunnels underneath the freeway to let the wildlife get from one side to the other. You can see where they did Fort Apache out there, and if folks remember the TV show Rin Tin Tin, that was shot out here. They did Robin Hood. They did a lot of stuff out there, but you can spend a good couple hours walking around the unbuilt up area that's out there today. It's not on a hot day, it's not a lot of fun, but another day there's some really nice oak trees out there that you can have a picnic under. And then there's some very, very small caves that the Chumash Indians used in the area for shelter. A number of years ago, a Boy Scout did his Eagle Scout project and put signage up, which would show pictures from the movies that were shot there. And you can, he did a nice job of lining up the then and now shots. So if you're ever in the area, anybody wants to go, let me know. We're a whopping 20 minutes away from here. Well, this was fun. This is the entrance going in. And you can see that they would bring celebrities in. So Walter Edmondson from the Little Rascals is in person today. I'm going to have to try to look up newspaper clips and see when he was there, along with Elaine DuPont. And I'm not sure who Alibi or whatever on the other. And then over here, you can see a sign, Robin Hood Lake area, that picnic area, and you could only go in through the south gate, and that was just 35 cents if you just wanted to go and have a picnic. You didn't get to see all the shows and everything. But the picnic tables are still right out there. Well, new ones, but I mean, the same area. It's a really nice oak tree, California live oak forest, and the Robin Hood Lake is still there today. No water in it, but where they did it. So that's the end of that one. Okay, I have to let somebody back in. Let's get the next one ready here. So
That
now,
reminded me of Joey Brown played a character called Alibi Ike. Do you remember that movie?
No, I don't remember that. That's interesting.
He played baseball and he just made excuses for absolutely everything, that went wrong. It was, it's really funny.
I have to look for that. All right,
Yeah.
we're going to do more Disneyland. This one is going to be 1961. I believe we get some knots at the beginning of it. Everybody always wants to ride up top. Uh-oh, we're being held up. Then we go to visit Movie Land, Wax Museum. That was still there when I moved to the area. And now we go over to our main attraction for the day, Disneyland. We start with our parking lot tram. Get your A coupons or your 10-cent out. I think everybody went to Disneyland, had to take pictures on the Jungle Cruise.
If you think you're in South America, you're in denial.
Oh, okay. We're gonna start all the bad jokes again, huh? In denial. Then the Indian Village. Back in this date, they were still known as the Indian War Canoes before they became the Davy Crockett Explorer Canoes. I bet they don't have the campfire burning in the Indian Village anymore either.
This must have been shot at dusk.
Yeah, it's interesting. I was doing one film during this week where the guy had really great exposure and then went really bad, really great, really bad. A lot of people I don't think understood what they needed to do with the lighting on these. But yeah, these are all late in the day or in the evening. Which was actually, I found this interesting because I didn't know they still continue to do the Indian dances in the evening.
I remember what time they shut down Tom Sawyer's Island each night. There was you couldn't be over there in the dark, I
No,
remember. But I'm trying to remember whether it was still light out, if it was like 6 o'clock during the summer or,
yeah, they closed it off about an hour before sunset.
yeah.
Somebody's got some background noise, if you wouldn't mind muting yourself. And invite all the kids up to join in. Yeah. Then we get some real overexposed stuff. Like I said, some of this overexposed stuff I can salvage some of it. Others it's just too far gone. But again, this is where people don't sometimes think about their exposure control. So the forecourt of the castle, ever-present nun just snuck by. Yeah, again, somebody, if you could mute yourself, would be appreciated. Thank you. So this section is overexposed, and all of a sudden I think they realize, oops, I need to fix something and we'll get better. So now it looks a bit better there. Oh, I love this shot here on the sheet that came with it that was listed as the Jonah and the Whale ride.
Bill,
Yeah,
is there a lever in the nose of that character that the performer is moving?
for the dwarf,
Yeah, to make the nose go back and
yeah,
forth?
you actually put your own hand up inside because the hands that you're seeing, the dwarf hands, are not real. So you have
Yeah,
your hand, which is helpful because you could scratch your nose, but you could also make that the character nose move.
right.
And if you notice that Snow White and Her Adventures, which is now Snow White and Her Scary Adventures, because they wanted to make kids understand what they were going to get in for. So the old Tomorrowland, the flight circle there, they flew model planes on the end of a rope that you could bring your own plane out and fly it there.
Bill, do we know what year this is from?
Yes, this is 1961. The original two-man Skyway buckets, which were a little more than two plastic chairs bolted to the floor. The Mickey Mouse Clubhouse Theater was a great spot for a hot day. The same three cartoons all the time when I worked there. Have them burned in my brain. Now, if you saw a
Which
real
card?
on that one, I can't find the cursor to go back. That Dumbo still had the movable ears on it. So when they first launched the Dumbos, they had movable ears that would flap to give you the illusion of flight. Then it turned out the motors were too heavy. They couldn't lift people and the Dumbos up. So they took the motors out, but the ears stayed with the mechanism in it for years. And then they later recast them with solid ears. So they don't have that hinge in it. Hey, who are you taking a picture of? So you see all these little nuances and things have changed, in the park over the years. The tour guides, real quick shot there. Oh, we're leaving Disneyland. That's no fun. Seems like we just got here.
Actually, Bill, you know how we always make comment about how people dressed when they first went to the parks early on? There was
Yeah,
another thing, subtle thing, if you saw it there, the woman was brushing her hair. And you don't see women brush their hair during the day anymore. Women used to do it all the time to make sure they look good all the time. And now nobody cares.
yeah. Now we're somewhere, yeah, good observation. We're somewhere now in Beverly Hills, and I believe these are the homes of the stars. If anybody recognizes any of them where it said, "Hey, that's my house," please let me know. But you know, oh, there's a star. Who is he? What we should have done is bought one of those maps of the stars' homes.
Bill, this is what I imagine your house looking like.
Oh yeah, no, this one there, that's pretty close, yeah. Except that one didn't capture the mode of the guard towers.
I always think of the I Love Lucy episodes when she was out in Hollywood and she went
Oh
to get the
yeah,
orange. Yeah.
John Wayne and the concrete slab,
Yeah.
and setting William Holden's nose on fire. This must have been where they stayed. Now what car is that, guys?
It looks like a Thunderbird.
Yeah, I didn't. It was such a quick shot. You could pause it there.
Yeah, I wish I knew who all these people's houses were.
All we do know is they had money.
Yeah.
Andrew has a lot of postcards of Hollywood homes. We'll have to get him to watch and see how many of them he can pick out.
Oh, that'd be great. No, I always remember when I was in Beverly Hills, you could always tell Buddy Hackett's house because he had this giant elephant out on the front lawn. It was weird.
I love Buddy Hackett.
Wait, like a topiary or like
No,
a
a
Jungle
ceramic.
Cruise elephant? Okay.
It was like a stone type elephant. There was some story told how he got it, and somebody gave it to him and whatever. But it was right out in the. He was right at a fork in the road. His place was in the middle of it, and you came driving down the road, and you just see this big elephant staring back at you.
We have
I
a
don't
neighbor
know.
that has a giant elephant in his yard.
We
I
had,
don't,
we
It's
had somebody,
fiberglass, though, I think.
yeah, we had somebody here in town had a giant ape in his yard, and all of a sudden we see it on patrol, and then one day it just disappeared.
I don't know if I've mentioned this before. My dad worked for the Southern California Gas Company and used to work in the Beverly Hills division when he first started. And they were not when he first started, actually, it was later on in his career. And he would sometimes be called to his star's home to work on their gas stove or their heater or something. And one day he was working on there was a heater in a room, one of the old style type of things. And this tour bus went by with people, and they say, "This is the home of," I can't remember the star, but let's say Jack Benny or whatever. And my dad put his arm out the window and waved at them all. And they said, "Oh, look, we got a wave from Jack Benny today." You can hear him say.
That's funny.
I have a neighbor that put up a 12-foot tall skeleton for Halloween, and they left it up all the way through Valentine's Day and dressed it differently for every holiday.
That's funny. Here we go for you, Brock. It's a character study.
When we have a state park that used to do a Halloween hayride, and they were great with the hayride was great, but they weren't always great about retrieving all the items. So you go out to the park for a hike in February and happen upon a skeleton with the moonshine still out in the woods.
Oh, lovely.
How many calls they got about that?
That's
If
funny.
anybody's in the mood tonight to relax, we can go to the Hollywood Palladium and have Lawrence Welk with the Champagne Music Makers. And afterwards, do we want to have something to eat at the Brown Derby?
Sure.
Then we go to Farmer's Market, which this is still there, the kind of altered form, but it's next to what's called the Grove Shopping Center.
Beth, I would have loved to come across something like that on a walk.
It happened to us more than once, Joey.
No idea where this section of beach is.
It's along the Pacific coast.
Yep, somewhere with a bunch of Navy ships. Oh, now we're in Tijuana. So I don't know if you caught the
Probably
sign.
in San Diego.
Yeah, it was probably San Diego, which we'll be at next week. So I'll look and see if I recognize the beach. But off we go to colorful Tijuana.
You're gonna miss Comic-Con, Bill.
Oh, yeah, but I
Yeah.
figure I'm gonna get on line for next one.
I would love to go there. That's on the bucket list, going to Comic-Con.
Carol and I went a number, I guess I've gone twice, I guess, but Carol, do you want to tell the story about Comic-Con?
Which story was that?
The Emerald Ring of Comic-Con.
Oh. Well, yeah, we stayed at the Del Coronado Hotel, which is a really fancy hotel. I guess Bill decided it was nice. If we were going down there, we should stay at a good place. And one of our friends was in the room with us.
Yeah, I decided this nice romantic weekend and we're gonna go to Comic-Con. And my friend Mike says, "Oh, if I wanted to go all my life, could I?" So we ended up with the three of us in the room.
So in the morning, they had a pillow fight that turned into a bed fight, and they turned over one of the mattresses, and under the mattress, between the mattress and the box spring, was a little cloth satchel. And we opened it up, and there was a ring. It was a diamond ring. Was it emerald?
Emerald, yeah, emerald.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, it's just probably some costume jewelry. Put it in my purse, and then a few days, I guess you started calling the hotel, didn't you, to see if someone had lost it? So maybe there was somebody there that shouldn't have been there, like on the big camera.
Yeah.
Anyway, so a few days later, I showed it to someone at work, and they said, I think that's a real stone in there. And it was a diamond ring.
That was
I don't know where
emerald,
it came
emerald.
from. Huh?
It was an emerald.
Oh, there were diamonds in it too, though, I think.
Yeah, it had diamonds on either side, and we ended up giving the emerald ring to my mom.
Yeah.
And then she in exchange said, "Oh, how would you like my diamond ring?" So, but yeah, I mean, I called that hotel X number of times. I was room 707. If anybody lost a ring, let me know. It's too late now, by the way. You can't get it back if it was yours.
I like how you just kind of brushed over the pillow fight that turned into a bed fight thing.
Well, because I turned the mattresses over.
No, what happened was I am not a morning person, and I wasn't getting up in time to go. So my friend Mike said something like, "It's time to go." Hit me with a pillow, and I'm always a big believer. If somebody does something to you, you return it in spades. So
Gotcha.
Yeah,
so you flip the mattress over to get you out of bed. Gotcha.
Right.
Okay.
And then under the mattress, hidden under the mattress, was this little pouch that had a ring in it. That somebody thought they were, I don't know what, I actually don't know why somebody would have hidden it there and then not gone back to get it. But anyway, it was kind of but the number of coincidences, the fact that they did this bed fight, and then between the mattress and box spring, there was this ring. And then I took it and showed it to someone, and they said, "I think it's real." I mean, it had to be all these things in place. It was kind of strange anyway.
Gary and I, have owned a lot of houses, where we fixed them up, sold them. And one of them, I took the sink, drains apart, and there was a diamond ring in the gooseneck, in the kitchen sink.
Oh, the trap, yeah.
Yeah, and the poor girl that lost it probably thought it went all the way to the sewer system or whatever, and it ended up, probably sitting in there for years.
Working at the Contemporary Resort in Florida, you realize all sorts of things happen in hotels that you don't expect, and that's what we were figuring. Maybe in this one, somebody had an affair and they want to call back and admit it. But we were working at the Contemporary one day when this woman comes up and said, "I've got to get into my room and I don't have the key." And we said, "Where's the key?" He goes, "My boyfriend had it, but he's dead." And I go, "What do you mean he's dead?" He died on Space Mountain. And
Oh my God.
yeah, so the coroner had taken the body off and everything, but she said, "I got to get in the room and get the stuff." And we said, "Okay, well, do you have any ID?" "No, it's all up in the room." And she was probably about 80, 85 years old, and she was frantic to get up to the room and told us she had to get all of her stuff out of there before the boyfriend's wife arrived.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So Yeah, well, all the more power to you. I mean, I guess the guy died with a proverbial smile or something, but 85 years old, they were having an affair.
Oh my gosh.
Lordy.
So I've given you plenty of time. What car is this?
Chevrolet.
52 Chevy.
So did you take it to the levee?
Yeah, but it was dry.
Yeah. Oh boy.
How about this gem?
Oh God, that is
wow.
that's early 50s.
Yeah, might be a
It looks
Plymouth.
like a Woody after they stopped
After
putting
the
wood
wood,
on.
yeah. Now I have no idea where we're looking at here.
Lots of houses.
Lots of houses.
Some kind of park in the foreground, it looks like. Fall colors, it couldn't be California.
Oh, it could be Northern California.
Yeah, I guess it could.
Well, we know it's not Kansas. Just talking yesterday about, there was something about how flat Kansas is. Another one for you antique car guys. Back when tail fins were king, huh?
Your fins would go around what, 55 to 59.
Yeah. And that makes sense. This was done in 61. I'm going to stop here. The rest of them is just marching around this this field. So let me get the next one here. Okay, the next one here is
Bill, I'm gonna have to jump out for a minute and come back in. My computer's is not
Great,
being nice.
I'll let you back in when you come back in. This
Okay.
one had no date code on it. So again, not able to decipher easily what year it is. Inside the shooting gallery, back outside. We know it's the new Tomorrowland. So somewhere from 67 on.
The images really pop now. It was a nice change to whatever you were using for scanning.
Yeah. Well, this nun, she shows up everywhere, obviously part of the family. This particular one was really overexposed, so I dialed it down as much as I could. And I'll be able to do some more work in the editing program to try to make some improvements to it. This was the more modern habits of the nuns. It's the entertainment committee going and keeping us busy.
The Tomorrowland Terrace? Or?
Yep, the pop-up stage. That's just think how much the choreography had changed over the years from the earlier Disney.
It feels
New
like the
sky-
70s.
New Skyway buckets.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got to be, like I said, the new Tomorrowland is 76 or so on, so, or 67 on, but yeah, I'd say
Yeah.
for the 70s. Okay.
Bill, I have a message. Your network bandwidth is low.
Anybody else seeing that?
You have red bars.
No.
No, I'm getting it fine.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, I thought Some of the video looked a little blocky, but I'm not getting any bandwidth message.
And just here yesterday, I was thinking how the internet seems to be doing okay.
Please don't think that in the future.
No, no, I know it's tempting fate.
Oh, is it not? No.
Heading up to the Matterhorn.
Yeah.
Oh,
All aboard.
When did they install the Carousel of Progress in Tomorrowland? And I mean, obviously after the fair, but
I think 1966 or 7.
67.
I was just looking at when they were on the kind of, I am pretty sure they were on the Carousel of Progress building.
Yeah.
And it didn't look like America Sings, which was 76 or whatever, right? So it must have been
Right.
before that and after, yeah.
This is still the Indian War canoes. That's another thing I'll look up to try to get a hint there.
Oh, right.
Nice shot.
Before Bear Country, so it's still the Indian village.
He's creative with his zooms.
Yeah.
good action shot.
There's some action for you. Oh, I love the barrel bridge. Trouble is, if you get on it with some really heavy people, you can get wet feet.
That's cool.
Yeah. Looks like a pretty busy day at the park.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm gonna say the Mark Twain was really, really full. You don't, well, probably you do nowadays again, but you didn't always see that.
No.
That nun is everywhere.
There it is again,
Yeah.
filled up.
Yeah, it's probably not too often it gets that way these days.
Days are numbered, right?
Well, in Florida, the boat's gone. Here in California, we're still okay.
Oh, good.
We already have our cars land, so they don't need to desecrate the park to build it.
Sounds
I was
like
gonna
it's
say you don't
time
have
for,
enough land at Walt Disney World.
gonna
Here we
say,
go.
sounds
Well-
like we need another park, another gate at Walt Disney World.
Yeah. Ooh, saucy entertainment.
Have fun.
Bolton Burley and Betty Taylor and Wally Bogue.
You mean Slufetsu?
Yeah,
It goes Bill.
that's right. Okay, that might be the end of that one. All right. Oh, fireworks. They're not so good at night. So now we're gonna go to 1982. And this we're gonna switch to Super 8 here. So gives a lot more fidelity and clarity to the picture. This is Easter of 1976. And we've got 4 reels of Super 8 and some really nice footage of the Easter parade that they had that day. We're now switched to the Davy Crockett Explorer canoes. Same canoes, just different costumes for the 4 guys paddling it.
Now, Bill, those won't tip over because I noticed nobody has any. Oh, I'm sure it's not as deep, right?
Well, it's deep enough if you were a kid. It's about 3 to 4 feet deep, but no, they're very, very heavily weighted in the keel. Flipping one of those, I've never heard of one of those flipping over. They have tremendous amount of lead weight in them, keeping them, level.
Yeah.
Bill, are they pulled along or they
Oh, no.
actually?
No, you're paddling it, which I can tell you from experience. If you're one of the guys in the front or the back, and I was the guy in the front and the back, when you get halfway around the river and the guests stop paddling because they get tired, you've got to paddle and bring them all back. So I got stuck doing that in Florida one time, and that was enough. I made sure I got out of doing that again in the future. But Carol and I were just on them at the Disneyland a few months ago. It's the first time she'd ever been on them. Again, with heavier people now, these boats, the rafts often get awash as they're going across.
Seeing that was Columbia, right?
Yeah.
But
The
seeing that
harbor.
just reminded me that there's a new Pirates of the Caribbean that they're gonna do, and apparently Johnny Depp has agreed to do it. And
That's what I was reading. They said all depends on the story.
yeah.
They're not making anything new.
No. So we go by the peaceful Indian village. You know why that moose is brown? He's a chocolate moose. See, I can get the lousy jokes in there too.
Good job.
That's why we love you, Bill. That and all the pictures you put up from MVAs.
What's that?
That and all the pictures you put up
Oh.
of vehicle accidents.
Yeah. Well, thank you. We're getting ready for the parade now, so everybody line up.
When you had your experience on paddling, did you say I can row a boat, canoe?
Oh. No, I just kept remembering Tippecanoe and Tyler too. Okay, so we're at the beginning of the parade. We have the Disneyland Marathon. Years before the Disneyland Marathon became a big thing. I don't know if you saw the Bears number was 1/2.
Cute.
His numbers there done with his lines and a slash. So Mickey gets us ready for the big day. This is a big parade. They don't do this anymore, but they did a special parade for the Easter, and they invited people to bring in their antique cars. So we got Mr. and Mrs. Easter Bunny coming down. And these were all privately owned cars that people would decorate and bring in and be part of the parade. So if you
Very
have
cool.
one, you can imagine what a thrill it was to be able to come and drive it down Disneyland and be part of the parade.
And controlling those cars was very difficult.
I imagine so.
Yeah. You had to advance the spark plug gap. It
I got a kick here.
nothing was standardized.
They put Bugs Bunny going down to the Disney park. What are they thinking about?
Ugh.
That's cute.
Some of those were electric, weren't they?
Yeah, I don't think any of those were Stanley steamers or anything, but they did have
Yeah.
electric cars.
It looked like at least 3 of them were electric.
And then they had the various groups that were recreators of costumes and stuff. They came in March. Then we're going to get into some really crazy bicycles in a moment.
I'm sure if they did this today, all I have to do is call Jay Leno and he could bring a 20 or
Oh,
30
no kidding.
cars.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, let me get the next one here.
Probably be an all Bugatti parade.
Yeah.
I got a kick out of one of them. You get a nice view. It's a Maxwell, and all I could think of was about Jack Benny.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
He's my favorite.
Your money or your life? I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about it.
take the
Yeah,
one.
at the beginning of the show, he has Rochester take the downhill route. And then at the end of the show, he has Rochester take the downhill route back.
No, I love these bicycles. Some of these are really crazy. No,
Oh,
Yeah, they're.
Penny Fathers.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
look at that one, the big yellow one with the thing there. And then there's a bicycle built for two where you ride side by side.
Yep.
Look at, I mean, these are just crazy things.
Oh, there's a good one.
This guy's pretty energetic here. I mean, I'd be falling over
The
for
problem
sure.
is getting off of them.
Yep. You actually have to get a stand on some of them.
Yeah.
I watch this, I feel like I'm looking at an episode of The Prisoner. People
I was just gonna say that.
Yep. Look at that one, the two wheels on the outside, and she's in the middle.
For the unbalanced.
Yeah. They did this parade twice. So this guy got 3 reels of it. The first parade. Oh, look at this one. It's done up like a giant.
Oh, that's
basket.
good.
Isn't that great? And then he's got the next reel is the second parade for the day, going in the opposite direction.
Wow.
So we have some Disney choreography there.
Walt Disney was into antique fire trucks, if I recall.
Yep.
Because of Mark.
As a steamer.
Wait.
Yeah, looked at. I saw
Ward,
that.
yeah, Ward Kimball, didn't he like custom make a fire engine?
Well, Bob Gurr built the fire engines for the
Oh,
park.
that's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah, right. But they also had
That's
an antique car that you steered with a tiller that Walt would drive through the park. And I thought the guy, whoever shot this, did a really nice job of nice long shots and not going crazy with the zoom or anything.
He used to work for the Rose Parade TV show.
All right, that's the end of that one. And then we get into the last parade for the day.
couldn't watch it?
So again, we have more
No.
footage.
Sorry.
This is the second, somebody needs to mute themselves there. So it's the same, which have got some of the same floats he's got twice, others he's got that he's missed. But then again, there's the side-by-side bicycle, which seems to me to be really tough.
I wonder how you do if the mother wanted to take the little daughter out for a ride, the grown mother and the young daughter.
Yeah. A Humpmobile. If somebody could check and see, I can't see right here, but somebody's not muted. If you could mute yourself, it's just occasional background noise. And throw some Disney characters in just to spice it up. I don't know when they stopped doing the Easter parades. Is it Maxwell? I imagine this was a real thrill for people though, decorating a car and getting it out and having a big day of it.
How long in a season did this run? Was it a week-long thing or just a couple of days?
Just Easter, just I think just on Easter.
On Easter itself, just that
Yeah.
day?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Look at that crazy one, a backwards penny farthing.
Now that funny nose on that thing might be a Baker Electric.
Okay. Yeah, I think they just did on Easter Day because trying to get all these people, if you come out and do this during a week, you got to. There's another one of those side by side. I mean, the inside one. You'd have to
love them.
time up from work or anything. So since these are all private individuals, they just did it on Easter Sunday.
And it looks to me like the women are dressed up like as in the suffragette period, which was kind of narrow. So I'm kind of wondering what kind of guidelines they had for this is how we're dressing and presenting ourselves.
Yeah, don't know what period of time. So that's the end of that one. So now we're going to jump up to let's see.
Probably basically the early 1900s, maybe it'd have to be after cars were made, of course.
It looked like it was from the time frame of Meet Me in St. Louis.
Yeah. So we're going to go to Disneyland in 1968 for this one. On this one, I've not had the time to run it through the first stage of stabilization and color restoration. So we're getting all ready, energized, eating our food before we go to Disneyland.
There's the Easter parade going on.
Yeah,
too.
going around the table. So back when the characters could be free ranging and not mobbed and that's the Winnie the Pooh I'll always remember with the honey pot on the head. We tried in Florida putting a fan inside that so it would try to vent the costume a bit. Didn't help much.
It is wild to me how long people are willing to wait in line now to meet the characters. They just started having the Halloween parties, and I saw someone last night said they had waited 3 hours to meet Jack and Sally.
Oh,
And
wow.
it's 3 hours, you could be doing something, something useful. Fortunately, my kids were never super excited about meeting the characters, so we never had to wait in any long lines for that. But I can't imagine, you spend that much money to go and then spend so much time just standing in line.
No, I remember, over the years, you could just walk up and there they were all the time. When I did it, you just went into the park and wandered around and, had fun with it. Now, I mean, it's much less spontaneous. So we used to have a lot of fun, going down and messing with the kids, and you come up behind somebody and sneak around, and everybody be laughing that they'd turn around and you try to turn around behind them so they wouldn't see you back there, and you come up and do all sorts of pantomiming and everything. Everybody have a good laugh about it. Today, go up, get your picture next, get your picture next.
On my recent trips to Disneyland, they still do that, not as frequent. And it's not the main characters, but they do have some of the minor characters walking around. And it's only mostly at Disneyland. They don't, at Walt Disney World, it's much more of a wait in line, take a photo kind of thing.
Yeah, that's a shame. Like I said, I really enjoyed when I did the trip of just being out in the park, clowning around.
Yep.
You know, somebody be having an ice cream cone, you'd come up and ask, try to mine that you wanted it, and then they'd give it to you, and you were stuck with it. But it was fun. So we got a nice PO view of riding the Dumbo ride.
I remember my daughter got signatures from some of the characters. They gave out a book, and like Pocahontas would sign it.
I signed a bunch of chips.
Yeah.
The ones that were really tough was if you did a dwarf and people wanted you to sign it. Again, you didn't have real hands, so you'd have to try to come up with some comic routine on why you couldn't do it, sort of thing, and get out of there as quick as you could.
I'm surprised they didn't come up with like a pad you could print and just stamp.
Yeah.
For the people.
With the dwarfs, you can't do anything. I mean, the hands are totally non-functional. Oh, this was great fun, the motorboat ride. Again, the sort of thing, if you're a kid and you think you're actually steering that boat going through those rapids. I've mentioned on another talk, I took my staff from England to Disneyland one day, and I have pictures of them, all these very prim and proper British people I worked with, and they're just out on the rapids, having on the motorboat cruise, just laughing, having the greatest time. It was really a fun day. Tomorrowland, the land on the move. They say that in about every one of their home souvenir movies. And the tiki room.
I'm sorry, Bill, did you mention what year this is?
68.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. And we go back home, and that's the sad part. These people got rid of their movies, and the family history is kind of lost to them. So we're going to hop over now to a different point in time, and we're going to go see the 1964 World's Fair. It had sprocket holes in it. Luckily, it settles down. Hey, we're over here. Come get your picture taken.
Do you have a closer date?
I don't know. We'll have to look and see if we see any signs of it 64 or 5.
like you, I'm always wondering if I'd see myself sometime.
Oh, I know. There was one of these I thought I saw myself and then realized no, that wasn't me. But always looking to see, you know, for all the trips you made, somebody must have caught it. There goes our feathered hats. Better Living Center. Okay, 65, because that's the Progress Lane area they put in for sunscreen for Carousel of Progress. They brought their picnic baskets out. There goes the Boy Scouts. I'm looking for myself. Nope, didn't see me. I just posted online that UNICEF just used one of my pictures to help promote their history. Oh, that's another way you can tell it's 65. They changed the whatever the gardens, the Pan Pacific Highway or whatever into the car racing thing. But yeah, UNICEF just did a thing about their history, and they used a picture of the signage about UNICEF presents a small world to kick off their article. Everybody remember going like soup containers and filling them up with dimes around Halloween time to collect money, trick or treat for UNICEF?
Yeah, I did.
Yes.
It's quite a physique this guy's got here. Yeah, there were little, you know, things like soup containers, and you know, it's funny the things that the memories, the little pieces of things that flash back at you.
Where was that physique pose?
The AMF monorail at it's coming down the station. So here's the International Village, International Marketplace, so I guess it was called. Yeah, the number, about 4 of those cardboard cutouts, or not cardboard, plywood, they were at the monorail. This again dates it to 65. Mendel's garden of they did outside the Vatican Pavilion about Mendel and his experiment with peas and how you come up with different colors of variations of things. His study into genes. Somebody sitting on the fence or the chain there. There's one of my mother's favorite shops, the Hummel shop in the background. Program, can't tell the Vatican without a program. Lots of footage of this sign. And a real quick shot of the Pieta.
I loved how they moved the camera like as if they're reading line by line.
Yes, exactly. And the Pieta, they were on the moving sidewalks or the moving ramps. So that was the only time they had without somebody in front of them.
Oh, it's too bad that roof can't be restored.
I know. I'm looking at the thing and the same thing, Wayne. There's the WBT totem poles. There's the VIP lounge. They got the curtains closed. We can't see inside. This was interesting, this shot right here, because I always thought the elevators were on 2 counterweights, one up, one down, and you can see they're both going up at the same point in time. I thought they were geared differently than that. now the fountains are going. They had loaded up the firework launchers for the night.
Bill, have you ever came across any footage of someone on the U.S. Royal Tower Ferris wheel?
Lots of still pictures, and I think I have about 6 seconds of film footage of somebody riding it.
Any good views?
No, from the still pictures, yeah, there's some nice shots. The film footage wasn't real good because they had a screen in front, to keep people from when they
Jumping.
first opened it, they didn't have a screen there, and somebody leaned out and got hurt. So they put a screen that made it really hard to get good shots through it.
Gotcha.
And we got some nice nighttime views. You see the Capitol's lit up on the Unisphere there. The U.S. Pavilion, water coming down between the center of the stairs.
Was there no light on Australia?
Beats me. Maybe it burned out. Should have had a light.
Joey took it.
That was in my mountain climbing days.
Sorry, Joey, I couldn't resist.
That's okay. You know me too well.
Some of these you're gonna have to just kind of guess at what you're looking at were at night. I'll do some more color correction and grading on these as I work on them in my spare time.
Do you have any?
I have some scheduled next week.
Between
This
6 and
reminds me
6:15.
that, we apparently still don't know what pavilion it was that was used in the Johnny Carson show intro.
We're almost at the end of the fair here. Again, you can see the carousel, GE carousel lights going. I'm going to stop there. I have some other reels that I did that, like I said, the Disney World with sound on it that, unfortunately, the video is on here. The sound is still on the film, and I've got to take out my sound projector, play the movie again, and then sync them back up. So let me just look at the chats here. Okay. Yeah, okay, thanks, Beth, for the link for Andrew's pictures postcard collection. I'll have to see if we can recognize any of those. Oh, okay. There's the podcast, The Power Broker. That's a long book to read, but I can't imagine how long the podcast would have to take. Wow.
Well, it's not an audiobook. There is an audiobook version, I think, but this is just a podcast where they sort of break the book into chunks. And for each section of the book, they have a discussion about it and they bring in a speaker. So Robert Caro is the speaker for the first episode. But my publisher said, oh, if you want to read the book, it's kind of a nice way to, have this podcast companion as you go along and read it and have some, some speakers come in and talk about it.
That's kind of neat. And how many parts are in the series?
Sure, I think 15. Let me take a look and see if I can tell.
While you're looking at that, Joey said he'd like to see another show done by Andrew. So
He gives presentations all the time, so I'm sure he'd be happy to.
Yep, let him know he's got a fan out there. And Scott, I see you in silhouette there. Are you coming out to the reunion?
I'm not totally sure how it's going to work. What's the exact date?
September 5th, 6th, and 7th.
Yeah. It's all going to be based on the message I post, Bill.
Yeah, Scott unfortunately had some news to share if you just want to let other folks know.
Yeah. I got diagnosed with prostate cancer as a result of my time working down at World Trade Center.
For the 9/11 stuff for his
So, yeah, it's been a very rough couple of weeks between between scans, biopsies, and paperwork. A lot of
I'm
paperwork.
so sorry, Scott.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, Scott.
And the real crazy nut buster, the whole thing is 2 days ago, my brand new computer crashed. So right now I'm on my backup, and that's why the picture is as it is.
Well, when it rains, it pours, huh?
Yeah. And last night I thought my iPad was giving me problems. Luckily, I was able to just reset the router and my passwords, and that was fixed. But it's been a very, very rough couple of weeks.
Well, thoughts are with you, and I hope you're able to
Sure.
get out, even if you just come out for part of the day on Saturday or anything. It'd be great to see you.
I will try. And thank you all. Yeah.
Scott, is it an aggressive form or is it the more benign form? Do you know?
Unfortunately, it's the first.
Oh.
And the only good news that came out of it was on the initial MRI, it showed two areas of concern, one on each one of my hips. So the PET scan didn't show it. So my doctor decided to send me for a nuclear scan. And I was able to tolerate that because of a lot of hardware in my back. But the results, he actually sent me a text message at 10 o'clock at night with the results saying it's good news.
Oh, that's great.
It's not cancer, he goes, but it is arthritis. So 30 years of working in the streets and the hospitals has taken its toll on me.
Well, it's great you have a doctor who's compassionate enough at 10 o'clock at night to take the time to listen.
Yeah, when I saw him this week, I said, thank you. I go, I wasn't expecting your message at 10 o'clock. He goes, well, that's when I get most of my paperwork done and read the report. So they have a tentative date of September 23rd to do some of the, hopefully to do 2 parts of the surgery. And they opted for, instead of low dose treatments, which is generally 30 to 40 sessions, due to my history, they're going to do high dose radiation, 5 sessions over 2 weeks. And then it's going to be a wait and see.
Well, certainly be sending good thoughts, prayers, and all the hopes of the best.
Yeah. I'm going to reach out to my cousin in Israel and ask him to go down to the wall and put a prayer there for me. And that's about it, people. I appreciate your kind words and thoughts. Believe it. I'll take anything I can get now.
Hi, I don't doubt it.
Hold on, Scott. We're all there with you.
Thank you.
Well, I hope for today people enjoyed. Particularly, I like the Easter parade. That was my favorite part. But when you see stuff at Disneyland all the time, you always see the Matterhorn. You see the tiki birds. When you have a 1 day a year event, which hasn't been done in decades, it kind of gives it to me a special sort of flavor. So next week, no talk next week because Carol and I will be this time next week will be
San Diego.
Interstate 5 driving back from San Diego. We're going down on Wednesday, and we're going to go down and flip over all the mattresses in our hotel. But our daughter and son-in-law and granddaughter are flying into San Diego for a wedding, and then we're going to go and do the San Diego Zoo on Thursday, and then we are tasked with the babysitting the granddaughter while my daughter is doing the wedding rehearsal, and I think the son-in-law wants to go play golf. So Carol and I, this was so easy, but now she's learned to walk. Yeah, we just saw her a month ago, and she was tentatively standing up. She went from standing up to running around the house like in an hour and a half. So it was all easy before when you just put her in some place and she'd sit there. Now it's, oh my God, what are we going to do? So
I was curious if you heard the news about Kodak, that they said they're probably going to file bankruptcy.
Yeah, I did. I saw that, and then there was a rebuttal that came out of Kodak. Evidently, Kodak did a regulatory filing this week with the SEC saying that they have more debt than they have assets, and that if they are not able to refinance their debt by December, they would have to shut down, file for bankruptcy. That, of course, made all the news, particularly upstate New York and Rochester in that area. And then Kodak put out another thing and said, no, that was something we legally had to say, but we actually feel fairly confident that we can get refinancing. And they're doing something with their pension plan. I don't know exactly what it is, but they're selling their pension plan assets to somebody that's giving them cash today for the future rights or whatever the assets. And they said they're going to be able to still make all their pension plan payments so that the retirees won't hurt any more than they're already hurting. And they think that they're going to be able to get interim financing. So that they've obviously Kodak has been through hell of a hard time.
Yeah.
This week was particularly interesting. Another cycle in their death spiral.
Yeah.
And
then another on that same line, there was Carrie and I watched Antiques Roadshow, and this girl had her brownie camera praised for, I think she said $6, but because she had the box, it was worth $500.
Yeah,
they say the boxes are everything.
Yeah.
I still have the box for my World's Fair camera that I bought. So no, I watched the Kodak stuff with great interest because I may have mentioned one of the first job offers I had coming out of college was to go to work for Kodak up in Rochester. And it was really tempting, free film and everything like that. But I had just done 4 years up in the the northern Adirondacks, and the thought of moving to Rochester, when I went to visit, the river was green, and it wasn't that they dye it green every year for St. Patrick's Day. Well, this was just green. I mean, Rochester was a really gritty, nasty city in 1973. And I said, no, I think I will go build submarines instead of cameras. So I just thank my lucky stars making that decision, because so many people put so many years in it, Kodak, and they just got shafted.
Yeah, we know lots of people worked at Kodak.
Yeah.
I just hope the people don't get treated like the people at Pan Am.
Yeah.
It was, you had your pension on Monday, and on Tuesday it was gone. It wasn't there no more.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, a lot of these things are now, there's a federal pension insurance plan, which evidently gives you like 3 cents on the dollar or something, I mean, nothing that you can count on. But Kodak did make a point out of saying, even with one of my pensions that I get from Warner Brothers, they ended up selling it off to somebody else. It's, get a check from somebody you never heard of every year, or every month, but they do all sorts of things, selling off these assets, like if you win the lottery, you can sell off your lottery winnings to somebody today and they'll give you pennies on the dollar for it, but now they have the money that's generated every year. So hopefully the Kodak people came through, but I think a lot of them did get screwed in the past. So I think what they're getting today is a fraction of what they were originally promised. So it's a shame. It's
I've had better luck than that. If a company is doing business in a good way, they're paying into an insurance pool that the government maintains, and that insurance pool pays one of the pensions that I get. It's not a big pension, but I'm haven't taken a haircut on anything, so depends, I guess, how they've played with the government's insurance pool before.
Yeah, and probably how many people they had and how much they put into it, and just but yeah, I saw the article, and then like I said, Kodak, I went on a website watching the news from Rochester, and you can imagine people are just terrified of what's going on with it. There's not much Kodak left in Rochester, but there's a lot of retirees left. I mean, that was a big operation. When I flew up there, I was actually down on Long Island, and they flew me up to Rochester for it, and I was real impressed. I mean, it was a great great visit, but I just decided, I think I may have mentioned they wanted me to go in an area of planned obsolescence where they would make a camera and they'd say, okay, it's got a 1-year warranty on it, and we want to make sure it lasts the year, but it doesn't last forever, because if it lasts forever, we'll never sell another camera. So they had this whole thing, if it lasted, if it broke within the warranty, they had to be able to fix it economically, and then if it broke after the warranty, outside dealers, they wouldn't make it too expensive to repair. And one of the things was, maybe if it's too expensive to repair, if it breaks during the warranty, we just give them a new one. So, but as an engineer, I did not want to sit there and calculate planned obsolescence and make things less good so they would break over time. So I turned it down in the cameras, and they said, okay, afternoon, would you like to be an engineer on the Kodak carousel slide projectors? And they gave me a whole big pitch on that, and I just didn't see that being anywhere near as exciting as building nuclear submarines. So off I went. So 2 weeks from now, we'll do a chat, and then the 3rd and 4th week from that, we won't be here because Carol and I will be in New York. We're going to go to the Boy Scout reunion and have some fun with that. And then we're going upstate New York just to get away from people. And maybe we'll actually, of all things, ironically, I think we'll be going through Rochester. And there's a really nice art museum there I want to try to take Carol to. So Rochester supposedly has gotten better since 1973, but I don't think the river's green anymore. I tell you, anybody here from New York drink Genesee beer?
Never.
It's one of the few beers I do not like, and it may taste exactly identical to something else, but I can never. Every time I think about it, it's Genesee River was so damn polluted, and you're selling it in a can. I mean, hopefully the beer and the chemical plants are separated by some distance, but I just think psychologically I can't get that green river out of my brain. But Genesee Cream Ale, it's funny what sticks with you. Oh, yeah, Richard's given an okay sign. So, but yeah, I mean, that's actually, I mean, picking a poor Rochester. It's a pretty nice part of the state. It's right near Letchworth State Park, which is one of my favorite places to go through, and the Genesee River runs right through the park. So, but I'm looking forward to getting up to the Adirondacks, and we might try the Star Trek experience again. So,
oh, I'm told that's great.
We did it a number of years ago, and it was really a kick. I mean, you get there. It was a former supermarket building that they put it in. So you just pull up in Ticonderoga, New York, which is another armpit of a town. You get there, and this looks like an old, 1960s supermarket. You walk in, and they say, okay, we're going to take you on to this Bridge of the Enterprise. they open the doors and, for the, and there you are walking onto the bridge, and the monitors are going, the sounds are beeping and everything. It's really cool. And then they, walk you through the hallways, and they hit the red alert, and all the lights are going whoop, whoop. And they take you in the sick bay and the captain's quarters and the transporter room. The really neat thing is at the end, though, you get to pose for pictures in the captain's seat. So, but they made it out of the same fabric they made the original series on, and I said we can't get any more of this fabric. So if you have any sort of studs on your jeans, they won't let you sit in it. And there was one guy there who was like, he was all upset because he couldn't sit in it, and they were telling him, no, you can't take your pants off. You can't sit in the seat. But it was real. It's very realistic. I mean, you go through it, and it's anybody else gone on it? If you're in New York, you got to go. I mean, it's way up in the middle of nowhere. But if you're up that way, Fort Ticonderoga is a wonderful spot of American history to go to, and it's Lake Champlain, Lake George. It's an absolutely gorgeous area to go to. But the Star Trek thing, it's really a real kick.
And you were the star of that day, remember?
Yeah, we went there, and this woman was, I know you from somewhere. And I said, maybe you've seen my picture in a post office. She goes, no, I don't think that's it. Right over her head. Remember when they used to put all the wanted ads in the post office? So there's a guy. Yeah, there's a guy, Doug Drexel, and he's a big Star Trek guy, worked on all sorts of the series. And this other fellow, Mike Akuda and Denise Akuda, they were there giving a special guided tour. And we were standing, and I've been to Doug's house. He's a World's Fair enthusiast, and he designed the Star Base and some of the Star Trek movies to look like the GM Pavilion. And he's got a luminaire in his backyard. He's got the seats from the Chrysler Pavilion. So he comes out into the room, and we're going to be giving everybody the tour. And you're going to see all this great stuff, and everybody, oh my God, it's Bill Cotter. And the lady goes, that's where you're from. So I had told Doug I was going to see him there, but I had told him about a month early, and he had forgotten. And he was just so amazed to see somebody he knew from LA standing in the crowd. And he was like, oh God, all the mistakes I make, Bill's going to know. But, yeah, that was a fun day.
Bill, I think he also recently got the Galileo 7 shuttlecraft.
Yes, they did.
And he's in the process of bringing that back.
Yeah, the original model, the original mock-up of the shuttlecraft. They're also building next generation sets there now too. So
William Shatner's been there like a good half dozen times.
Yeah, and Doug is usually one of the people that goes there, and does the introduction, and keeps Shatner out, try to keep him on target.
I was just going to add that, Don Lancaster's talked about being there before too, a couple times, right?
Yeah, I think he keeps talking about going. I don't know if he's actually gotten, but it's in the middle of nowhere, but it's really, really worth a drive. If you're anywhere in that area, like I said, just even going out to Fort Ticonderoga, it's real great spot of American history.
Is that the pencil place?
Yeah.
Do they make pencils?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. When we went up there as a kid, and I think my first trip up there was around 1959, 1960. We went up to Fort Ticonderoga, and it was one of the worst smelling, foulest places I'd ever been in my life, because they had a giant paper mill there. And ever been near a paper mill? They stink to high heaven.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
Yes. We had another one that went over the Cornwall border crossing up to Canada. And boy, when you got anywhere near Cornwall, you knew it. But yeah, Ticonderoga is from the Ticonderoga #2 pencils. So
Bill, I'll give you another bit of trivia since you're a diver. There's a section in Lake George in the early 1900s. The state police changed their shields. They took all the old shields and they dumped them in Lake George, thinking it was deep enough that no one would ever be able to recover. lo and behold, 30, 40 years later, you got divers who are trained to do deep dives, and every now and then someone comes up with a shield.
Oh, no kidding. You know,
Yeah.
that's really short-sighted thinking. I mean, they could have just melted them down, pounded them with a hammer, done anything, because I mean, the lake's deep, but it's not that deep.
I know someone who's actually done ice diving there. He's totally insane, but he has done 2 ice dives at Lake George during the winter, in the middle of January or early March. They open a hole. You have to show all your certifications. They go over all your equipment, make sure you're not going to freeze. And they do 20 or 30-minute dives down there. And they say it's amazing. The fish are dead asleep. You can poke at them. They just waddle away like slow motion cameras.
No, I've done wreck dives and cave dives, but ice dives are not going to be on my list.
No.
You know, Lake George doesn't freeze as much as it used to, because they used to have a big thing where they would do ice racing and take cars out on the lake with studded tires and do big things out on the lake. And they haven't been able to do that in a number of years now.
Yeah.
So ice diving, no thing. I went ice fishing once, which to me is one of the most boring things on the planet Earth, and it exists only for an excuse to sit and drink beer. I mean,
And watch football.
well, you can't do that when you're ice fishing. You know, I guess you could with a battery powered set or something, but you know, cutting the hole with a chainsaw in the ice, and then as you mentioned, Scott, the fish is sort of, you know, morbid or torpid, or you know, they're not exactly jumping at your hooks. So no, I found that to be a very cold, put it on the bucket list. Done it, move on.
Yeah, my coldest dive was 42 degrees in a quarry in Connecticut. And after those 2 dives, I never used my dry suit again. I ended up giving it away.
No, I've only done wetsuit. You know, I've never done dry suit dives. And you know, sometimes you'd feel like a wimp out here in California weather and thing. There's a guy that I worked with, Paul Osterhout. We went out. He's another Imagineer. We went out to Catalina Island, and he forgot his hood. And you don't think it's going to be too cold in Southern California weather. That poor guy, man, what it was doing to his sinuses and everything, he was really hurting. He, on all the other trips, he never forgot his hood. But, you know, to me, I was comfortable. So, well, great.
No,
Well,
thank you.
folks,
No
in
problem.
2 weeks, and hope, Scott, you're getting continued good news as we go to, you know, go forward.
Thank you.
Great. Take care, everyone. See you in 2.
Be well.
Thank you.
Stay safe.